Our discussion today is going to be about vintage style diamond rings, and this is brought to you by www.qualityvintageengagement.rings.com. Now, as we're getting started, I would like to clarify the difference between a vintage ring versus a vintage style ring. I think a lot of people consider it to be one and the same, but there is actually a difference. A vintage ring is a true dated ring that was created years ago. Could be anywhere from 40 or 50 up to 100 years ago, depending on what ring it is that you're looking at. Whereas a vintage style ring is a modern ring that was created, maybe in the past few years, more recently. But this modern ring replicates the style that the vintage rings have. So there is a difference between the two of those. We are just focusing on the vintage style rings today, and the advantages to buying a modern ring that's styled after, the vintage characteristics. Some of the advantages to purchasing a vintage style diamond ring is that, number one, it allows you to select the ring materials, which is huge. You can pick which gemstones you would like, how many gemstones you want. You can choose what types of metals you want to use, and even choose the overall design of the ring. So it really adds some customization ability, and it allows you to adjust the ring to match your budget, which a lot of people are really looking for. It's a great thing to be able to stick within that budget and still get the ring that you want. When you do buy a vintage style diamond ring, many times it still looks like a vintage ring, and so that's a huge advantage. You still get the old style that you're looking for, that classic timeless style, but it is in a modern ring. And the quality of a modern ring is huge. That's a big advantage right there, because you're going to have the peace of mind to know that your gems aren't going to be falling out. The metal's more sturdy. You know that you have a high quality ring that's not going to fall apart on you. So there are definitely advantages to going with a vintage style ring. Now, as you're choosing what type of vintage style you'd like, there are actually 6 decorative periods that the styles date back to. I don't have time to go over the characteristics of each of these periods right now, but you can check out more details at our website, and that is www.qualityvintageengagement.rings.com. We've got detailed descriptions of all of these decorative periods, plus pictures so that you can see what those rings look like. Really quickly though, just the 6 decorative periods include the Georgian, which is the earliest, and then the Victorian, Edwardian, Art Nouveau, Art Deco, and Retro periods. So there are lots of different styles to choose from. Each of those have very individual, unique characteristics. Now, if you're planning on buying a vintage style diamond ring, I have a few tips for you, so listen up to this part. It's very important. First of all, decide on the style that you like. Look through, those decorative periods. Figure out if you prefer more of a feminine side or more of, a bold, modern look, and go through the different styles that are available and pick the style that fits you best. And then you also need to determine a budget. It's usually very important as you're going into a big purchase like this to know what type of a budget ahead of time you're aiming for. And then you can customize the gems and the metals and the setting to fit within that budget. And then the next step is to choose the diamond or diamonds that you like. And this kind of falls within the budget, but when you choose your own diamonds this way, it allows you to be selective about the quality, the color, the cut. You have a lot of options since you get to select your own diamond. So choose the diamond that you like, and then also choose the metal type that you like. Some girls prefer gold, others prefer white gold or platinum. So make sure that you're going with whatever fits you best. You have tons of options as you're going with a vintage style diamond ring, and so just decide what's going to be best for you and your bride-to-be, and just pick whatever works best for your budget. So that was just a quick overview of vintage style diamond rings. You can see there are a lot of advantages to purchasing a vintage style ring, and we do have more information about vintage rings and diamond cuts and lots of diamond education at our website. So check it out. Our website is www.qualityvintageengagement.rings.com.